Evan Williams 23-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Hi, WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, and today I have Evan Williams 23-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I just opened the bottle for my German video. Look at the wax. I killed the cork. It's this thick. It's amazing. Oh, that's a shame. 23-year-old, what do we expect? Oh no, it just tore off. I've had a lot of problems with my corks lately. I brought this bottle from the States over here to Germany. $300 or $299 in Louisville. Only in Louisville is available. If you go to the Heaven Hill Heritage site, they don't have it on site. At least middle of July they did not. But in Louisville they did have a showcase of them. I asked the lady behind the counter after I was buying it, so tell me, how many people actually buy this bottle? And she said, oh, more than you would expect. I was like, I don't know, what do you expect? She says about 2 or 3 a week. So for $300 a bottle for a bourbon, that's 23 years old, 2 to 3 times a week isn't really a very, very bad number, I guess. Over here in Europe, this bottle can go for over $800. And so if I pay $300 for it in States, that's a great, great deal. What I did is actually I did a bottle share, which is allowed over here in Europe. So I divided this up into little 5cl and 10cl and so on bottles, like this or like this size. And I actually sold them for the price I bought it for in the States to my friends. And so my whiskey friends. So, 23-year-old Evan Williams, did it survive the time in the cask? That's the question. What does my nose say? 53.5%. The alcohol is there. I have oak, burnt butterscotch, and alcohol. That's about it. It's amazing. The burnt butterscotch really, really kind of makes me question my nose today. 23 years old. 23 years ago. 1995. At least in my book. I was probably bottled then in 2016. Amazing, amazing thing here. I'm going to put the cork back on here so it doesn't get too much air. Even though my cork did break. Oh, what a shame, what a shame. So, I don't know what I'm going to do there. That looks weird, but that's the way it is. I put my red shirt on, so the contrast to the blue was really, really nice. This is basically only sold in Japan. You have to go to the gift shop or to the Evan Williams Experience in Louisville to get it, or you have to go to Japan. And in Japan, it's more expensive, by the way. Is it worth it? The nose doesn't say so. I have a theory anyways, and I've seen books about this. The age of a bourbon, if you take a look at this, it just goes up till about 12 years old, and then it goes, and the amount of oakiness, the tannins there goes, and so bourbons don't really like to be in these virgin, charred, level 4 barrels for more than 14 years. 12 years is when it starts getting iffy, and then 23 years is just out of this world. What I'd love to do one day, I'd love to do a challenge. I have the Evan Williams 23. A friend of mine has Elijah Craig 23, and I would love to have the Pappy 23. And have all 3 of those, maybe even blind tasting, and see which one I like best. And to really screw things up, I just put a barrel, single barrel of 4 Roses in there with 50% and see which one I like best. And probably it's going to be the 4 Roses single barrel. I just know that. Because these things are very, very woody, very, very oaky, very, very burnt butterscotch, burnt caramel. 53.5% is a lot as well. very hot. It's amazing how hot they get, even though it's 23 years old. I don't if I put a Scotch in a barrel for 23 years, it gets soft and mellow. And for some reason, many bourbons don't. They just remain hot. I had a Hirsch selection 20-year-old American whiskey once. It was corn, and it was it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It was so hot and so young. I would never have ever thought that was 20 years old. Um, I get corn. I get oak. I get oak. I get burnt butterscotch. Jim Murray gave this in the 2011 and 2012 Whisky Bible 59.5 points. I'm missing out on something. I don't get 59.5 points. I might not be a connoisseur enough. I might not be experienced enough to appreciate and to really just love this whiskey. I'm going to give it some time in the glass. Okay, I've given it 10 minutes in the glass. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an old trick I learned from Ralphie. Is I'm going to actually give it some air. Maybe this will help. Maybe it will hurt it. I don't know. But just doing this puts some air into it. And lets it just breathe a little bit more quickly. So, didn't change much in the nose. It's exactly the same as it was. The alcohol is even a little bit more dominant than it was 10 minutes ago. The burntness of the butterscotch has retreated a little bit. Now let's try it, and then put some water in it. It's old. It's oak. It's bitter. Oh, no. It's really not going to be ever my favorite whiskey in the world. It's going to be one of those things I'm drinking because it's expensive. It's going to be one of those things I'm drinking because it's in, but it's not going to be one of those things I'll ever drink because I think it's great. I'd much rather have I don't even have the bottle here with me. Old Scout Rye, single barrel, 7-year-old, smooth ambler. That stuff is exquisite. And over here in Germany right now, it's about $45. The nose does die down a little bit with more water added. Oak, 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 oak. It's just old. It's bad bourbon in my opinion. I was at the Heaven Hill Heritage site, and I had the connoisseur tasting. We had Old Fitzgerald, and we had, what else did we have? We had some good stuff. I was expecting and hoping to have this, but it wasn't there. And they pulled out a bad bourbon, 26-year-old, that was over-aged. Some of these orphan barrels, and the master distiller said don't sell it. And I tried it, and it wasn't great. But this stuff is even worse, I think, in my own personal opinion. I would much rather have a Pikesville, which I had at the Connoisseur from Heaven Hill as well. And there was the, what is that called? It was the It was a $300 bottle. It's the name. I think it's something with Williams. It's a heritage collection. That was nice. But this is nowhere even near that. Sorry, people. I'm not even going to give it a grade. It's just not worth it. So sorry. Well, Whiskey Jason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American living in Germany, testing rare and exotic whiskeys. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. And I really must admit, the Williams 23 is not a great tasting whiskey, at least for me. My viewpoint, my opinion. Perhaps you've had it, perhaps you love it. Write it down in the comments. I am not a fan of it. Oak, burnt butterscotch, and alcohol. That's all I have. Thank you for watching. Please add your comments. Please recommend this channel to other people. And also, please, please, please subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.